I'm going to explain to you some of the deepest, most profound dynamics that I had to think about this stuff for decades to understand, and once I did, it changed my life. So let me show something to you, okay? There's more going on beneath the surface than you guys remotely understand. You're not able to see it. You're like a fish in water. You're just not aware of everything happening. So let me show you this, okay? So what does the word subversive mean? Say the word subversive.
Subversive.
Who can define the word subversive? Take a crack at it, loud and proud.
It's when you're going, what's normally lower is trying to be above, and they're trying to usurp.
My man. Give him a hand for that, okay? He knows. It means that what is normally below goes to the top. Let me show you a specific dynamic here, okay? Now, I'm not going to force a belief system on you, okay? So I just want to get a assessment of where you're at, and I'll put it in a spiritual way, and I'll put it in a logical way. Who here believes in God? Put your hand up, if that's you. Who actually doesn't believe in God? No shame in it. Just tell the truth. A couple of you guys. Okay, so I'm going to say it in a way if you believe in God, and then I'm going to say it in a way where if you don't believe in God, okay? By the way, you don't have to believe there's a man with a beard at the top judging you to believe in God, just so that you know that, okay? And or that you could even believe in a dispassionate God, incidentally. But anyway, let me keep going, okay? So whether you believe in God or whether you want to view it like psychological, let's just let me just cover it for everybody, but I'll do the God one first, okay? So imagine that you have, repeat this after me, the elites, the regular folks, the masses. Okay? The elites is like 1%, just say focus. The elites is like 1% or less. The masses is like maybe 85 to 90%, and the regular folks are somewhere in the middle, okay? Now, this is a broad generalization. It is not 100% true. It's just a broad generalization. But imagine in general, even though it's very broad, and there's a million counterexamples, the elites are disconnected from God. The masses are disconnected from God, and regular folks have a connection to God. Just imagine it that way. Now, for non-spiritual people, you would say that the elites are psychopaths. You would say that in many cases, not all cases, by the way, at all, but in some cases, I coach them, I know. Then you would say that the masses are on autopilot, is how you'd put it, and that regular folks are a little more balanced. Could that make sense if you don't believe in God? Did I cover my bases there so I don't have to go against your beliefs? Okay. But let's go back to the God thing, my favorite topic. So basically what you have is, because I believe after we go somewhere after we die, and I think that that's all that matters. That's literally all that matters in my belief. But that's not an excuse to be fucking broke like a fucking moron, okay? In fact, I believe it's a disgrace against God to be broke unless there's a specific reason why. Now, from there, because you're supposed to live, your life is supposed to be a mirror of where we're going to go. It's supposed to be abundant. It's supposed to be peaceful. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be expanding, and so on and so forth. But you're not supposed to be attached to it and identifying with it and using it to disconnect. So one of my favorite things on this planet is running seminars. I actually run free seminars all over the country. Are you guys having fun right now?
Yeah!
So this is actually late at night on a Sunday. We've been in a long one. It's just a crazy one. Last couple remaining people here is a lot of fun. And I've got a free seminar coming up in a couple of different cities right now. The first one is going to be Los Angeles this week. The one that we do in LA is massive. It's going to be a crap show. There's going to be a lot of people there. It's going to be amazing. We're running that for 3 full days. After that's going to be Vegas, Phoenix, Arizona, San Diego, Washington, D.C., Boston, Orlando, and Miami coming up ASAP. So, do you guys recommend that they come out and learn about social skills, how to make cash? Do you guys feel like you learned a lot about social skills here today?
Yeah!
Could you guys learn a lot about how to make cash here today?
Yeah!
Could you guys build a network and some friends for life?
Yeah!
Can we have a great field trip last night out to the club?
Yeah!
Okay, and do you recommend that they click the link below right now?
Yeah!
So I'd say this, right now, free event coming up. I don't know if I'm doing these forever. And also, the sooner that you get signed up, I got to tell you something. What happens is in a room like this, now this is the end of Sunday, but on the first day it was here, it was freaking packed. And when you sign up early, you get a front row seat. You lock that in. So as a result, I recommend that you sign up right now while I'm still doing it. Guys, you excited to see them at a free event coming up?
Yeah!
Sign up for the free event. I'm excited to meet you in person. Now, let's say that you're one of the elites and you're disconnected from God. What do you do to cope with that soul disconnection? What do you do? What do they do? What kind of is like a salad company like Tender Greens going to make you elite? What kind of products do you create to be elite?
Poison. McDonald's.
Say the word poison.
Poison.
Say it out loud.
Poison.
I literally don't hear you. Is that your slave metaphorical mind? Say it out loud. What do the elites make, guys?
Poison.
Okay. What kind of state are they trying to generate in the people who consume their products? Derp state, unconscious. Okay, so the elites cope with the disconnection from God by power and control. It's not good enough to make 10 million or 50 million and enjoy your life. You've got to make billions and billions while pumping poison into the masses, while pushing them into being asleep, and in my point of view, from a Christian ideology, literally to send them to hell, okay? To send them right to hell. That's an extreme view. I don't need you to agree with it. I haven't even substantiated yet. Don't worry if you don't agree. We'll chat someday. Now, from there, so they are coping with disconnection from God by creating these horrible, horrible, horrible things, but some of the things which are good. How do the masses that are disconnected from God, how do they cope with that disconnection?
Social media.
Numbing themselves.
Say the word numb.
No.
Louder.
No.
Louder.
No.
Say disassociate.
Disassociate.
Say autopilot.
Autopilot.
Told how to think.
Told how to think.
Give it an identity.
Give it an identity.
Okay, give it a tribe.
Give it a tribe.
And basically safety is a big one too. Say safety.
Safety.
Okay, and not having to think.
Not having to think.
Okay, so from there, if that's where they're at, right? A regular person does not need $100 billion. A regular person wants to feed their family and watch a fucking sunset. Maybe a cool car, maybe a fat crib, maybe some travel, and they want to live their life. Maybe, I feel like for a regular person, 10 million, 20 million, you probably have what you need. And otherwise, it's like a big steroid junkie over-optimization. You make more, honestly, if you've got a project that will change the world, or maybe you just love it as a game, then you can make more. But does everyone here really need more than 50 mil? No. You can all make it, but does everyone here need to make more than 50 mil to be happy? No. If you do, it's probably coming from control, from power. It's not necessarily coming from a healthy place, but some people build it because they enjoy the business. They actually enjoy making a good product. But what about when you're making poisonous fast food, right? So the subversion is when someone who's in the middle, who is awake and has that divine connection, says, hey, masses, you're being put to sleep. You're literally being put unconscious. Wake up. And what you'll see with the masses is that they hate that dynamic. Now, I'm going to explain to you why, and this may be the most powerful concept you learn in your life. Now, because you're being given this for free, you're being given esoteric knowledge here that people would have had to have studied for decades to understand, and I'm going to give it to you right now. Because you were not forced to study for decades, I am doing you a disservice. You will not understand it. No matter how much I beg you, you won't get it. I'll try to prime you, but you'll just blow it off as another piece of your disgusting food that you spit out on the ground because you're not going to listen, because you didn't have to earn it, and this will only make sense if you earn it, but I will try. Do you guys want me to try?
Yes.
Do you actually want me to try?
Yes.
Okay. When you wake people up, they will go after you. Here's why. Let me show you why, okay? So imagine that you have a heroin junkie. And a heroin junkie has to take a needle and put it in their arm, okay? So what does it take? How much friction is there for them to get a needle in their arm? What's that? They still got to go cop it. They still got to get a needle. They still got to shoot it. So it's some effort to get that needle in the arm. Yes or no?
Yes.
What if they could just touch their arm, and then their arm would cause them to get high on heroin? What would they do? What would they do, guys? Show me what they would do. Show me. Show me what they would do. What would that begin to look like eventually? What would it look like eventually? Okay? Yeah, then what if they, by a thought, could unleash heroin? Then what would happen?
They would think it all day. Do it all day.
They'd go like this. They'd go heroin, heroin, heroin. And eventually, here's what would happen. Their proactive will would be, here's the key to change your life if you choose. Their proactive will would no longer exist because the heroin would have generated what's called a flywheel. Say the word flywheel. Flywheel. Now, in the same way I was very impressed by your response about subversion, can anybody here explain what a flywheel is? Who can explain a flywheel?
It just keeps rotating and rotating.
So it keeps going, but what's unique about a flywheel?
It lives off the momentum of itself. And it just
I love it, but I want to hear it. I love it, but I don't hear it.
It lives off the momentum of itself, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger off of it.
Yes, so it's when it achieves its own momentum. Say, when it speeds up, off the power of its own momentum. So it's like this thing that's speeding up, right? Now, we think about heroin as a very obvious addiction. If you have studied, though, Gabor Mate, have anyone here ever studied Gabor Mate in the realm of Hungry Ghosts? He says, guys, heroin, like we judge a heroin addict when we're all addicted to other things, right? That addiction could be social conditioning, say social conditioning, autopilot thinking, ego, biological impulses, various other addictions, unconsciousness. So what happens is these things get put into you, okay? And eventually you lose being present to the moment, and you can't even be present anymore because the mind is just thinking and thinking. Do you guys notice that it takes actual training from people like in Eckhart Tolle or Vipassana meditation and things like that in order to still the mind and in order to disengage the parasitic consciousness, okay? Say the word disengage. The parasitic consciousness. So you actually have to disengage it. Here's the thing. If you are in the middle, not one of the elites trying to keep them asleep, and not one of the masses who is asleep and will get angry whenever someone tries to wake you up to your back to your base level consciousness, you can't actually wake people up. You actually physically can't. There's a flywheel there. There's nothing that you can do because what has happened, and pay attention, is a false identity has come to life. It is literally a false identity. The real you is actually asleep in your mind in this this is all studied by psychology, by the way, okay? The core self is protected in a womb surrounded by this thing that's happening. And here's the result. Say, you don't have your own will. Say that.
You don't have your own will.
You have no capacity for true discernment.
You have no capacity for true discernment.
You do not have independent access to a flow state.
You do not have independent access to a flow state.
So let's put it this way. Have you guys ever seen it where somebody who's addicted to something, all they can do is just be like in their little frame? Like they can't see anything outside of that frame, right? You seen that? Like unless it meets their parasite, they can't even see it. If you don't have access to a transcendent state, if you can't be at baseline centered, you are always what? What are you always? What are you always?
Puppet.
What are you always? You don't have the courage, you know it. Have the courage to yell it. What are you?
You're a hamster on a wheel.
Yeah, and what else are you? It starts with the P. Have the courage to say it. Have the courage to say it, guys. Have the courage. If you do not have access to a transcendent state on your own, you don't have baseline, you're always a puppet. Because your biology will manipulate you, your safety needs will manipulate you, et cetera, et cetera. Let me give two more pieces before we get to the next piece. You have the Osh experiments, you have the Milgram experiments. What do we learn in the Osh experiments? Here's what they do. They will literally say, we'll have 10 actors. Say we had 5 actors here, and that's the real guy. Okay, so you're the real guy, and you're the actors. Now, these glasses are obviously a gold color, right? But I would tell you to say silver. So say silver, even though they're actually gold. Silver. What color are these, man? Silver. What color are these? What color are these? Silver. Now, when you would see it, without me giving you permission, your brain, and they've studied this in the Osh experiments, will believe it's silver. Why? Because you're addicted to safety, so you don't even have discernment. So I can tell you and you'll see it, but if I don't tell you, you get brainwashed. So you don't even have discernment. If you actually believe that your body is all that exists and you don't see a soul, or if you don't have a lot of confidence, you can't even distinguish reality, you're a slave to safety. But it also relies with ego, social conditioning, addictions, et cetera, et cetera. Likewise, have you guys ever heard of the Milgram experiment? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, the Milgram experiment is basically where they bring someone in off the street and a guy in a lab coat gets you to electrocute somebody till they're almost dead. Marcel, what is the percentage of people that in the Milgram experiment will commit murder, or think they're committing murder?
100% will go up to 250 volts. 70% after having this been done replicated hundreds of times will go up to 450 volts. Now, a wall outlet in America is 110 volts. That's more than enough to kill you. 100% of participants, 100, not 99, 100, go up to 250 volts and murder someone.
So if everybody would do that, shouldn't we question what's going on? If this has been proven, the Osh experiments and the Milgram experiments, shouldn't we question what's going on? Because you would likely do it, okay?
And they do it because some guy in a lab coat told them to do it. Not some friend, not a police officer, just a random fucking guy who looks like a doctor and looks like he has authority that they just met. They electrocute them to death just because he has a symbol of authority on him. And then you ask, so some background on the Milgram experiment, because it's really important for what he's about to share. Background is Stanley Milgram, the guy who came up with this experiment, his whole family got murdered in the Holocaust. And he's watching all these officers go on trial, and they're all saying the same thing. Why did you kill these people? I was just following orders. So he goes, maybe they were right. Maybe they were just following orders. So he invents this experiment where you have a teacher and a student. The student is always, always, always an actor. The teacher is the volunteer. They pretend to make it look like it's a free choice. Hey, pull a piece of paper out. You pull a piece of paper out. Oh, you're the teacher, I guess. Have them walk around a wall. On there is a electrocution device. He comes shock the teacher, so the teacher knows it's real, with a low voltage. Oh, ow, that hurt. Has him sit down, attaches the actor, which is the student, goes back around the wall, has this big device starting at 10 volts, 25, all the way up to 450. At 250 and 450, it says don't go here, danger, don't go here. At 450, it says deadly. By the time they get to like 220 volts, 250 volts, the person on their side is screaming, my chest hurts, I have a family, please stop. Every time they get the answer wrong, you move up the voltage. Eventually, they stop talking completely, as if they're dead. And if they get an answer wrong and don't answer, the guy in the lab coat goes, keep going, keep going. So they just keep fucking going until they've literally gone all the way to the end. And I'm willing to bet that if that 450 was 1,000 volts, they would have continued to go. Why? Because 70% of the population is so fucking weak-minded that they will listen to someone and commit murder because they said it. And 100% of the population is so suggestible to someone in a lab coat or just a police officer or someone in authority that they would still commit murder, but just it can't be as extreme looking. It has to be a little bit softer, 250 volts. So it just gets you to think what's really running the show in their human brain. And when I tell you reality is a bunch of bullshit, well, under the right context, who here would commit murder? Well, what if they're about to kill you? Everyone would do it. What about under war? Why would you go to war? Well, if your freedom's at risk or this is at risk, they can manipulate an entire country to go to fucking war, not just to kill other people, but potentially get blown up, right? They can convince you to pretty much go kill yourself because they teach you that. So everything you do from a young age is designed to condition you and entrain you into following the authority. And let me tell you something. If war was so easy to go to, why don't politicians, presidents, kings, why don't they send their kids? They don't do it because they don't want their kids to get blown up for a war about money. All wars nowadays are about money. It's just retarded. It doesn't make any sense to go blow everyone up. It doesn't make any sense. You don't need to do that anymore. But they do it because of money, right? So think about it. If they can get in your head and have that flywheel, that parasite of control where you're just listening, they keep you broke. If you're rich, do you want to go to the army? No, but do you get paid well in the army? No, you don't. But for a little bit of money and some benefits, because they convince you making money's hard, you now get to go be a soldier and get blown up and kill other people because they fucking brainwash you. So the more they keep you down, the more they control you. That's just how it works.
Yeah, guys, give a hand to Marcel. That was a really good one. So have you ever heard the quote, easier for a getting it probably paraphrased, easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich man to go into the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven is the death of the parasite and the awakening of the soul. How do we awaken the soul? Say the word conscious. Conscious. Non-resistance. Conscious. Non-resistance. Conscious. Non-resistance. Conscious. Non-resistance. Okay, so here's what happens, okay? Eckhart Tolle says that the pathway to God, to enlightenment, is the now, which means that you resist nothing and you find your identity within the soul, okay? So as bad things are happening, that becomes like a pole vault where you can snap the parasite and shoot up like a rocket into consciousness, okay? Now, once you do that, what happens is you'll start crying, you'll start shaking, and you'll have an awakening because you'll feel your higher level faculties beginning to turn on. This is also why we go in nature, because nature forces us to acknowledge both how big we are and what we're part of, but also how small we are, and to get us to where we're a little bit bored, and then seeing the greater beauty and seeing the infinite, okay? Likewise, creative work, art, nature, friendship, love can allow us to connect to that infinite nature. So guys, here's what I want to show you. I want you to imagine myself and Marcel. We're sitting here, and we've had some of this evolution, right? And we're on our journey, and we're not saying we're enlightened at all, okay? We're just like some knuckleheads on our little journey, right? But what I'm trying to show you is that when you're presented with a tool that is you go from the bottom, and there's the top, and you flip it. That is, look at the dynamic right now. The elites have got you literally, okay? Literally, I can't even say what I know about this. Do you guys know who I've coached? Some of you guys can guess, right? Some of you guys can guess who I've coached. You guys know that I was around San Francisco in 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006. You guys know where I've been. You guys know what I've done. You guys know what I've seen. And you guys know that I know a lot, right? So I'm telling you point blank period without causing more problems for myself than I have to, that you need to wake up now. Now. Right now, and really 5 years ago. Okay? So here's what I'm getting at. Your mind will literally, very literally cause you to ignore reality and to just obey. And it will shut down your higher faculties. It will shut down your genius. It will shut down your connection to God. And it will keep you in the 3D. It will keep you in the fucking pigsty mud pit. And you will literally crave your own enslavement and ask for it. Now, a cow, and this is a great, could you share the analogy of the cow and the cow unconscious? Because I thought about that for 2 weeks when you told me.
Which one?
The cow knowing it's going to die.
Oh, yeah. If you look at cows while they're about to get slaughtered and they're walking in, cows are very conscious beings. If you've never spent time with animals, I grew up with animals, they're very aware, they're emotionally intelligent, they can read your feelings, and they're smart. They know when they're about to die. And the way cattle gets murdered is they literally get guided through these metal rails, one after the next. They see the cow in front of them dying and getting taken off. They see it. And the cow, in order to not feel like shit, in order to actually just say, I'm happy, will disassociate from the fact that it's 2 seconds away from dying and go back into its thing, comply, and feel good as it's about to get slaughtered. Cows will literally walk into the slaughter up until the moment of death, disassociated, knowing they're going to die. They know. They actually know they're going to die. Because sometimes they get away and they cause mayhem and they get away. But if they know they're going to die and they can't get away, they just accept it. They will disassociate and be happy in that moment. The same way you could see someone, for example, we went to Halloween Horror Nights. We're in Horror Nights and we went with a group of people and they're fucking terrified. And we're telling them we're about to go into maze. Like, no, I don't want to go to maze, don't want to go to maze. 3 seconds later, the topic changes. They're talking about something else. And their brain automatically forgets, even though we're maybe even closer to the maze, now maybe 5 seconds from going in, and they start laughing and talking about other shit. Zero fear, completely disassociated from the fact that they're about to be scared shitless again. The same way the cow had the moment of awareness and decided to ignore it, most people will have that moment where the parasite can be killed and you can become aware of the problem. When you get triggered, when the fear is there, when the problem is in front of you, and most people, instead of taking it and killing it and dealing with the fucking thing that's happening with them, the fact of the matter is they ignore it. If you look at what happened in the Holocaust, they would line up. 10,000 Jews a day would go in Auschwitz. There would be 5 or 6 people with a machine gun. Even if
Marcelo's Jewish, by the way. He's giving his assessment.
My grandma was in Auschwitz. Anyways, hundreds of bullets versus tens of thousands of people that can easily overpower all the people there. Take a gun, do their thing. Instead, escorted into the gas chamber to be slaughtered. You could smell the dead bodies when you arrive. You see dead bodies on the side. The same condition they found them in when they discovered these death camps. That was the condition while they were walking into the death camps. They would get shot in the head in front of them. They would come from villages where they'd have open graves, and those that survived would get shipped off to the death camps. On the train, people would die. Yet these same fucking people ignored the fact that their people are dead on this fucking train. Everyone's shitting and pissing on the train next to them. The conditions are horrid. They saw their mom, their dad get hung in the city. They're seeing people get killed. They're hearing rumors about the death camps and the showers and the gas chambers and the ovens. They're seeing the smoke. They could smell it. They've heard it. And yet they still complied to their death. Why? For the same fucking reason people comply to stay broke their whole life. For the same reason people comply to be in their current situation their whole life, to be in the bad relationship or an abusive situation or in horrible context, until the moment where the gas comes out of the gas chamber and you can't breathe. That's the moment you say, why did I walk in here? But why wait?
And then there's an opening.
Yeah, why wait? Why wait till you're in the gas chamber? You know what they say, an ounce of prevention weighs pounds of cure. So when you get into a higher paradigm, your brain isn't looking for the moment where the gas comes on. Your brain's looking for, how do I even prevent this from happening? So when you start seeing the laws change and the anti-Semitism grow, what do you do if you're in a higher paradigm? You leave the entire fucking country and maybe all of Europe. You fucking leave. And then guess what? You don't end up in a gas chamber. Most people will not look ahead. The same way they forget about the fact that they're about to be slaughtered. They wait till the moment. The parasite creates a cognitive dissonance where your brain is literally blind to what's actually going on. When I tell you your reality is a bunch of bullshit, it is. It's actually bullshit. The question is, which reality, which map gives you the clearest perspective? The clearer perspective you have, the better the decisions you can make. When you see in December, okay, If you know anything about stocks or trading, and you know Israel and Iran are about to go to war, what do you buy? You buy oil. You buy oil and you'd be up 20%.
Well, what he's trying to show, he's trying to connect for you how awakening can often lead to wealth because the obvious realities in front of you when you're awake. And by the way, when he talked about in Auschwitz, they would have the opening only in pain. You could have a choice that when you're in pain, rather than hiding back into the parasite, retreating back into the cocoon of the parasite, if you don't resist it, you have basically unfiltered contact with raw reality. Say that word. Unfiltered contact, with raw reality. But the thing is, your mind, and I want you to finish your point, I'm going to give a slight sub-point here. Your mind, what it winds up doing is it prevents you from having unfettered contact with raw reality because it believes that only the overlords are allowed to have that, okay? Now, I want to do a thought experiment here. A lot of people here would say they don't like OnlyFans models. What's the reason why? Because a girl is contributing to like all these loser guys fapping and sitting at home fapping. And about 30% of the male population now is what's called a NEET. Anyone here know what a NEET is? Yeah. Who knows what a NEET is? Non-employed, not education, no trading. 1/3 of men now just sit at home smoking weed, eating Cheetos, looking at OnlyFans. So people dislike OnlyFans. But guys, so we see a girl doing it OnlyFans and we get mad, right? But let me ask you a question. Is that any worse than a girl or guy working at Big Pharma? Where, you know, poisoning people in some cases at Big Pharma. Not every case, of course. Poisoning people's minds in some case with censorship and basic removal of the First Amendment and censorship in big tech. Turning people into robot Rockefeller drones in big education. Putting chemicals into the food supply in big agri. But we don't get mad at somebody who does that. Why is it that we get mad at a little small business owner or a church during lockdown, but we don't get mad at Amazon? What is the dynamic where we don't get mad at Amazon, we don't get mad at somebody working big tech, big pharma, big agri, but a little OnlyFans girl, we get mad? I'm not defending it, but I'm just saying, why does the Eye of Sauron get mad at her and not the big whatever? How come some news people get one story wrong and they get sued for billions, but the mainstream news can cause an invasion of Iraq and then millions dead, but then they don't get deplatformed, but the guy who's maybe an independent news outlet says one thing wrong about a shooting and then gets sued into the dirt forever, even though that's literally not even close to what the mainstream did, causing the wrong word in Iraq about WMDs. Why do they get away with it? Rules for thee, not for me. How come Gavin Newsom is able to eat at French Laundry without a mask while everybody else has a mask? What's the dynamic? What's going on? Someone tell me.
They claim the ownership of us as if we were cattle.
Ownership like cattle? And what it is that we so much believe that we have this dynamic that we believe that we're stuck. This is what I wanted to get to with what Marcel is showing you. And please pay attention, okay? If you were to audit your, let's go back to auditing your situation correctly like a nightclub, right? If you were to audit your situation correctly, and this is within the context of what Marcel will show you, let me show you what's going on. Most of you, if I was to describe it, there's a bunch of rich people in here. For the rich people in here or successful people in here, I am not talking about you at all. And when I say this, use it for empathy for the people that are struggling. Go, oh, wow, I didn't know it's like that for them. Many of you in here are killing it, and we'll help you to kill it even more, okay? We want to meet you and help you kill it more. But for the people in here that are struggling, basically you go to this job, it's burning all your time, you're exhausted when you get home, you go to weed, Cheetos, whatever, almost like a NEET, but just in the later part of the day because you're too exhausted, right? And so you need to have tools that are highly effective. But when Marcel shows you a tool that is highly effective, A, you're not acknowledging how bad your situation is potentially. Again, many rich people here who can just use it to thrive. Many of you, many people in here are successful. But for those of you that aren't, frankly, even those of you that are successful could 10x or 100x the results. It's like almost giving a nuke to like a Superman. But the point that I'm saying is this: your mind will not allow you to audit your situation correctly. So say, audit my situation correctly. Say that.
Audit my situation correctly.
Say it again.
Audit my situation correctly.
And say it as loud as you can.
Audit my situation correctly.
So ultimately, if you're auditing it, what do you need? Say the word tools.
Tools.
Say the word tools.
Tools.
Say the word tools.
Tools.
Okay, say high potency tools.
High potency tools.
Okay, so in other words, you need things that with like 4 hours of time at night when you're exhausted have huge influence. Now, does the media propaganda outlets have tremendous brainwashing influence? Yes or no?
Yes.
But the question is, how can an individual have a lot of influence? A, you got to audit your situation and know how bad it is, but many of you, again, crushing it. You guys just could benefit even more from tools. Like, you give Shaquille O'Neal the ability to shoot a three-point shot. It's just that much better, right? So for those of you successful, it's like Shaquille O'Neal doesn't just need a dunk, he can shoot a three-pointer. That's what these tools are for you if you're successful. But if you're not successful, you need tools that are high impact. But when Marcel shows you these tools, here's what's going to happen. Your brain is going to block them out because you don't believe that you're allowed to have all that money. You don't believe that you're allowed to have that degree of influence. And that parasite in your mind will block you from actually seeing the opportunity in front of you, and it will shut you down. So that's why I'm trying to prime you a little bit here to understand that you need high influence tools to realize the dynamic you're in, and high influence tools. What Marcel understands how to do at its core is have insane levels of influence. Now, when Marcel shows things like hypnosis and influence, yes, he has 1 million out of 10 influence with other people. It's ridiculous. I mean, the stories I could tell you, I mean, whether speeding tickets or jumping a line, but I mean, that's like, no, I mean, you guys know how much influence he has. But here's the thing. What it also does is it puts a wall against people overly influencing him and getting him to fail the Milgram experiment, getting him to fail the Osh experiment. It means that he's awake. He's not the asleep cow hiding from life and just trying to soothe his nervous system because it's all just too much to deal with, okay? So guys, here's what I'm showing you. Say this: the more that I can see reality, while remaining calm, and making good decisions, the better I'll be. Okay? So the more that I can tolerate ambiguity, the better I'll be. The more that I can tolerate uncertainty, the better I'll be. The more that I can handle paradox, the better I'll be. The map is not the territory. I am not my ego. I am a soul. I have a capacity for direct contact with reality, not through a filter. I have the ability to audit my situation honestly and seek out tools. Powerful tools are not just reserved for my master. Powerful tools are also for me. And so that's what he's trying to show you here is powerful tools. How not to be brainwashed, but how to be the one who has influence. But you've got to agree to use it for good. Can everybody here agree to use it for good?
Yes.
Okay? Can everybody here agree to use it for good?
Yes.
You really caught my attention when you talked about the spirit and this whole Matrix thing. Something happened to me a few years ago. I was in my room, dark night, I was feeling bad, and I started to feeling agitated. I was breathing too hard, and all of a sudden, I just surrendered. And I felt this ecstasy, like a bodily orgasm, where I woke up into this reality, and I could see the world without filters, and I could see everything as it is, but it felt overwhelming. And from that point until now, I've been working on me being the change that I want to see in the world. I just wanted to share that experience.
Thank you. Give me a hand, guys. It's very cool. Now, the bad parts. Okay? So, a guy like you, when you see a psychopathic entrepreneur, what is the thing that psychopathic entrepreneur doesn't get that you wish that they got and understood? If you want to help them, what would be the part that would help the psycho, money-grubbing, greedy, like guy, like oil tycoon that pollutes the ocean and kills the ducks? What would you tell that guy? Stand up and tell me what you tell them.
Oneness. Like oneness, love, self-love.
Yep.
Love for everyone.
And how dumb does that person look to you?
Very, very dumb, unconscious.
Unconscious.
Yeah.
What if I told you that you look dumb to them? Could you believe it?
I would believe it. Yeah, they would think I'm dumb.
Okay, I'm coming near because my mic's near here, okay? At home on the video, they're like, huh? there's a larger picture of life, and we want to surround ourselves with a broad counsel. Say the word, a broad counsel. So he has spiritual influences in his life. You see the brightness in the eyes, the goodness in his heart. He has that down. But what do we see happening right now to the good people in the world? They're taking it up the butt. Now, if you want to take it up the butt, that's a good thing, right? I like everybody, right? I'm all inclusive, baby. But what I'm saying is, as a metaphor, the good people are, not doing so good sometimes, right? And that's because guys like yourself are spiritually bypassing. And what that means is he is resonant with the energy of the afterlife now. He's already in heaven. I hope that you're putting a big fat zoom onto his face. Are you doing that? Okay, so you can see he's in heaven now. Okay? He actually already went to heaven. Okay? Come here. Yeah, he already went to heaven, okay? He's in heaven right now. But this is actually not heaven, guys. We're in this bullshit conference room, okay? So the point that I'm saying is, is that he's not there yet. So what happens, and this can also happen when people do psychedelics sometimes, is it puts the consciousness a little bit too far forward. And what happens is a lot of spiritual people can't even pay the rent. I wish I was in heaven. Now, you don't need to answer if you don't want to, but would you be open to answering how much income you make per year? Would you be open to that?
Yeah.
Okay, set up. How much income do you make per year?
Last year I wasn't making any money, and ever since 3 months ago, I made my first 5K in a week. Like 5K in a week.
Amazing. So give me a hand for that. Now, how old are you?
23.
Okay, so 5K in a week at 23 is actually very, very good. Now, is that the total of what you made as 5K?
No, that month I made 7.
Okay, but what have you made this year?
So far, I've made like 12.
12K this year.
Yeah,
So
ever
it's
since I started.
So look, he's young and it's good. Okay, thank you. But with his intelligence level, should he be at 12K a year? Now he's showing some promise, so I'm not dogging him out. I love what I'm hearing. How much money could he make if he put his mind to it?
2 million.
Whatever he wants, right? So what I'm getting at is that a lot of the time the spiritual community is actually unaware of their own potential, and they're in the world but not of the world, which is great, but they don't realize that the world is going to shit. So the question is, are you willing to fight for the world?
Yes.
Okay, so he is, okay? Now part of that is what Eckhart Tolle would call being a frequency holder. Say the word frequency holder.
Frequency holder.
Say it louder for me, please.
Frequency holder.
Say it louder for me, please.
Frequency holder.
Okay, so he is what is known as a frequency holder, okay? He holds the frequency for the world. That's a very, very valuable thing. And in truth, I don't know what his destiny is. And maybe his destiny is just to hold a frequency for the world. I don't know. That could be true. But what I would think what's really cool is a guy like yourself, okay? No, my brother. Is a guy like him. I would love to see a guy like him actually have impact. What if guys like him were in control? What if guys like him ran the world? What if guys like him actually had influence? What would that mean? Would the world be a better place or a worse place?
Better.
I think it'd be a better place if he had some influence. But why does he not have influence? What's going on? He does not have influence because he's already in heaven. And so he does not seek to have influence. If you literally look at his face, he's literally in heaven, okay? He's not here with us. Look at his face. He's in heaven, okay? I know this because he's like my son Tristan. My son Tristan's also in heaven. So that he's actually still in heaven. My son Tristan is like, I don't know what will happen with him, but I'm telling you, something's coming. I don't know what it is. So basically what you have, guys, is he's in the energy of heaven. What does that mean that he's not able to process right now? He may not see evil. He may not understand survival components, the parts of the body, right? So your mind doesn't resonate with influence in the world as of yet, other than being a frequency holder. And the truth is, that may be the extent of what he does. Okay? That may be the extent of what he does. Maybe that's all he does. If all he does is that okay? I actually think it is. I think the world needs more people like that. But what I want to show you is there's a whole other paradigm that he hasn't explored. So how would we characterize the paradigm that he has explored? What are some qualities of the paradigm that he's good at? What are some of the qualities of it?
Being present.
Say the word present. Say it louder. Present. What are some other qualities of that paradigm? Can anyone throw them out? Say the word compassion. Louder. Compassion. What are some other qualities of his paradigm?
Being released.
Being released. Say the word release. 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 What are some other qualities of his paradigm?
Contribution.
Say contribution. Say frequency holding. What are some other parts of your paradigm you'd like to share that you focus on or optimize for?
Well,
Say it for me, please.
I'm optimized to express my emotions, talk to anyone about this moment, being able to see the potential in everyone and being able to see a path for them to reach enlightenment. And I'd say that.
So look at it this way. You may go on to be a spiritual teacher. That could actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really can. It's not bullshit, by the way, okay? Sometimes, guys, you just got to call a spade, you know what I'm saying? Like, just call a spade. He actually may do that. And that'd be a cool thing for him to do. Have a seat for me again. But what I'm getting at is that he's in a paradigm of that. I just don't want to waste time standing there waiting for me to come back. So then, okay, so if that's the case, what are some other paradigms that are real, equally real and equally valid that he may not be seeing? What are they? What are some other things he's not seeing? Say the word evil. Defensive evil. Competition. Marketing. Sales. Influence. Building. Boundaries. Okay, there's things he may not know, okay? So there's a whole other layer of life, right? Say the word evolutionary psychology. Like, is spirituality and evolutionary psychology mutually exclusive?
No.
I actually don't believe it is, guys. I really don't believe it is. I know these little camps, these little cults want to tell you that it is, right? A little fucking cult. But I'm saying that in reality it's not, okay? And for those of us that are playing for real, not just a little subcult. So there's a whole other paradigm of things that he could learn. So you've got to understand, I have a very diverse counsel. I've got friends that are so syrupy that he looks like a psycho. I've got friends that are even more like all that kind of stuff. And I hang out with them, and to be honest, it probably even triggers a bit of my own parasite, right? Because they're so beautiful spiritually. Okay, they're just very, very, very beautiful spiritually. And I have friends like that that are talented for this and that I stick around. Everybody needs a friend like him as an influence. So what I tell you is have a diverse counsel. What's your name, brother?
Sam.
Yeah, give me your Instagram address, too. Do you have an Instagram address?
Yes.
Here, you're going to get some DMs. Come here. Okay, come here. Tell me your Instagram.
Sam Transcend.
Nobody can hear you, bro.
Sam Transcend.
Well, shit, he's got a business coming. I maybe was wrong.
It's just Sam Transcend.
Okay, SAMTRASCEND. Write it down. Go follow him, okay? Some people really are frequency holders. That's what I kind of could tell from him. And they're good at it, and they got to get their message out. That's what social media is for. But even Sam Transcend will get super fucked if he doesn't understand marketing and business, and he'll probably attract snaky, creepy business partners. He might not know how to run his funnels. He might not know how to run his events. He might get fucked over because he may not see what's coming, okay? So see, what I would like to see is a guy like you actually have the other side. How cool would it be if Sam Transcend learned the kind of lessons of an Elon Musk, or learned the kind of lessons of even a cheesy, although I love him, cheesy internet marketer like a Grant Cardone. I know that's a weird combo, right? Grant Cardone, Sam Transcend, hybrid. Okay, maybe we can put on AI, see what comes out. He's like, you like money, man? Well, I only kind of like money. You like a jet, man? I got like a mid-sized jet, right? You know, it's a hybrid. But what would happen if he learned those lessons? So what I would say to you is, there's always another paradigm. So what I do is I keep friends like Sam around me real close. I love these guys, love these girls. I keep them around close. Likewise, I will always keep gorgeous, beautiful women around me because they'll give me insight as to women. But likewise, what I do is I keep around me weaselly, clammy-skinned, nasty little internet marketers. And believe it or not, there is some genius there because they also understand how to move people. So I make sure to get around them as well, because you could listen to Sam talk, right? And you'd be like, wow, I want to transcend with Sam Transcend. I want to transcend now. It's all pointless. It's all for nothing. come to me, Sam Transcend. You give him like a little hug. He's cute, right? He's like, oh, the girls want to hug him like a little panda. You know what I'm saying? He can charge money to give a cuddle, right? He can be a cuddle buddy, like hug the girl, you know, right? Like a panda. And so, right, Panda Transcend, Sam Transcend, Panda Transcend, Panda Cuddle, buy it now. Buy it from Panda Cuddle, Sam Transcend. We'll cover him in black and white, get him to cuddle you. You'll be all cute and enlightened. You'll cuddle the panda and become like Eckhart Tolle. So you'll, you know, so things like that, right? So you'll have that kind of thing, right? So you can market that. But then you get around somebody a little bit more business oriented and you go, wait a minute, I've been cuddling with my baby panda, Sam Transcend Panda Edition. And what happens is I can't pay my fucking rent, okay? And I'm not a frequency holder and I can't make a fucking spiritual YouTube channel. And so I'm fucked. I'm fucking fucked. And my kids had to eat Spam and fucking cornflakes. And I went to Sam Transcend, and Sam Transcend just fucking cuddled me, and I felt good. But now my kids eat fucking Spam, and my kids are called Spam Can't Transcend. Okay? Spam non-transcend. Okay? Sam Transcend, cuddle my kid. Sam Transcend's like, why are you making me spam? Because I have no money, Sam Transcend. Right? And then he hugs the kid starts puking up the spam everywhere. Sam Transcend has to find the underlying non-duality, the puke and cornflakes and spam on his fucking shirt. He still looks happy like that. But is that even appropriate if we're being honest? But he's a non-duality, doesn't matter, he's in heaven. But now you're covered in fucking cornflakes and fucking spam. Okay? Because you're not in heaven yet. And your kids can't eat cornflakes and spam. Okay? And cuddling a panda doesn't pay the bill. Even if it looks like Sam Transcend. So what I'm showing you here is that there's both sides, right? There's two sides. That doesn't mean that you have to optimize for that as what you teach. That may not be what you teach, but you could open up to it. Because to somebody in business, they would see you how you see them. They would see you how you see them. They would see you how you see them. Funny how that is, right? So you want to broaden your counsel, guys. You've got to broaden your counsel. You've got to learn from more people. It's like if you see a guy on steroids and he's hyper optimized for steroids. You see him going with this, right? So he's huge, but he's missing other types of optimizations. Okay, so he's got some stuff optimized, but not necessarily other stuff optimized. So look, here's what I'm getting at, is like, we don't have to be limited by this little ego of like what kind of person we are. Okay, so guys, here's what I do. I will go to Barnes & Noble's on a Saturday and read for like 5-6 hours. I'll pick out a health book about immune system. I haven't been sick in 14 years because of all those books I read, in my opinion, but who knows? I'm not a double-blind study, not giving medical advice. I didn't get sick in 14 years. I read a lot of natural health. Then I'll pick out a marketing book or business book, and then I pick out a spiritual book. What do you guys think is the one that I like the most almost every time? A spiritual book. But yet, even though when I read that, I'm like, God, I love this. Fuck all this marketing shit. I don't even care if I die, I have a soul. It doesn't even matter. Do I look like your traditional Sam Transcend? Do I look more like Eckhart Tolle or more like kind of like John Gotti? Okay? So I look kind of more like do I look more enlightened or like I have NPD? Right? Am I enlightened or am I a psychopathic narcissist? Okay?
Both and neither.
Thank you, both and neither, right? But the truth is this, right? A lot of those people, like a psychopathic narcissist, are the opposite of enlightenment, where they're in the physical world like a reptile. But they often know things because their weird, psycho, nasty little brains actually will figure out how to operate within the world. So the question is, are there other ways to be spiritual or to be enlightened that would involve channeling spiritual energy in the world and goodness in the world, but having impact? And I love the frequency holder thing for Sam, but should someone like me retire from doing free events all over the country, free videos upon free videos, helping people pro bono? Should I retire from all that? Because guys, that shit ain't cheap. You dig? You think what I do is cheap to help people? That shit ain't cheap. So, because you have not mastered money yet, you're young, but because you haven't mastered it yet, the scale of your influence is maybe limited. Now, to be fair, there's the butterfly effect. You know, maybe he'll influence one person who influences another. That's God's plan. I get that, right? But there's a certain element of being passive in the spiritual community that makes you believe that you have to be actively passive to be spiritual. And while I believe that is true for a man like Eckhart Tolle, and perhaps for Sam, for most of us, we're not Sam. Okay, I called out Sam, I knew, right? But most of us are not Sam. So if you try to be Sam, what is the word for that? Spiritual what?
Bypassing.
Say that louder.
Spiritual bypassing.
That's what it is. And to be fair, any of you trying to act like him right now, that's spiritual bypassing. But even him doing what he's doing could even potentially be spiritual bypassing. Because there's millions of people, now I don't know about millions, but there's many people like Eckhart Tolle who meditate on the bench and don't get put on Oprah Winfrey and never sing their song and never share their voice. Okay? So what would be more enlightened for Sam to do? And I don't have an answer for this. I'm not an expert on this. But what would be more spiritual for him to do? Sit in a park bench in non-duality for 50 years? Or to share his message? What do you, I don't know. What do you, I actually don't know. Well, I don't think both, because you can't do both. He could do a lot of bench sitting, but you have to pick. I mean, was Eckhart going around doing, I've been to like every Eckhart Tolle event I can ever go to live, by the way. I love going to see Eckhart live, okay? When Eckhart went and shared his message, did that help me? Yes. When I share what I learned from Eckhart, does that help you? Yes. Okay, was there anybody here who got into Eckhart Tolle because they found my videos? Put your hand up if that's you. So what influence could Eckhart have when he begins to have scale to you, right? So I just think that if we want to wake up the world, being a frequency holder is great, but I think that a lot of spiritual people are just, and not you, you're young, but they're just used to losing. The spiritual community is too used to losing. And sometimes losing becomes so entrenched that you just get used to it. You don't know what it means to win anymore. Look at a lot of the Christian community, sitting on a corner with a poster, yelling, "You're going to go to hell." What kind of people is that going to attract? A seeker? Be honest. Be honest. Who is that likely to attract? Somebody who's "You're going to die. You're going to go to hell. We are the Christians. You are the heathens. We're better than you. Jesus will save you," with a poster like that. Who's that going to attract?
No one.
What kind of person will that attract? Cut the bullshit. Every fucking one of you knows who that attracts. Have the balls to say it. Have the balls to say it. Who does that attract? Puppets, derpers, weak people, marginalized people, people that are lost, people that are confused. And that's your tribe. Great. Help them. For sure. Fucking help them. But what happens when the most influential people are not getting a spiritual knowledge? What happens to the world? So are you actually causing more damage than good? If that's what you're branding as spirituality, is a cult? And a bunch of easily naive, brainwashed people who cannot cope with the ambiguity of life? Who cannot cope with acknowledging that they'll die? Let me ask you a question. If it turned out that Satan was God and God was Satan, okay? God was Satan and Satan was God. If that was the case, and it turned out that evil makes you go to heaven and good makes you go to hell, what would you do? You know what I think you do? I think you say, "Fuck you," and you go right to hell. And you sit there burning for eternity like this. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why it is? I'll tell you why. Because as soon as you go into that slumber of caving, you are now non-existent. Your will is gone. So you don't exist. You're just this unconscious. You go to heaven and you go, oh, it feels good, oh, like that. But in hell with that pain would be your will. And what's happening is that the spiritual community is more concerned with bliss than being connected to actually being really awake. Oh, I got bliss out of it. Now let me give you a subtlety of my personal opinion on this spiritually. The reason, in my view, why we need God, from my point of view, this even for the atheists in here, the reason why I believe we need God is because the human mind has a vacuum in it. Say this with me. The human mind has a vacuum in it. So there's always good. And say also your mind is an antenna. You are always tuned into a channel. You're always attuned to something. So you're thinking, oh, guys, look, I have a beard, right? I grew a beard to be kind of funny. And I'm always so freaked out that I have a big beard that I lick it. I lick it. I go, like, I'll be like, look at it. I'm like, what the fuck is on my face? This is fucking fucked up. I grow it to remind myself. Look, the beard came in right there. Okay? You got to film that shit, okay? So he gets it, right? You ever do like I had a beard?
I usually get it caught in the corner of my mouth.
Yeah. He gets caught in the corner of his mouth. Okay? That's called manifestation we just saw right there. Now, okay, so what do you guys, if I lick the side of my beard, what do you think Marcel or my other friends do? But they had no beard. What are they licking? Nothing. Their face. So why are they licking their face? Because you are not just you. You are not an isolated island. You are a permeable membrane. You become who you hang out with. You will rise to the standard of your friends. You will lower to the low standards of your friends. You will take on the beliefs of your friends. There's some studies that even show if your friends are fat, you get fat. Like, there's all these stories. You start having the mannerisms of your friends, little tweaks of saying things like your friends. Everybody's like a little freaking cult. Because we are not our own mind. We are what is called a hive mind. Say the word hive mind. Hive mind. But in addition to being a hive mind, for other people who are around, we also, by the way, are attuned to different stations. Say the word attuned. To different stations. So in other words, we are always emitting energy. Say that. And receiving energy. High vibe energy is attracted to other high vibe energy. Low vibe energy attracted more low vibe energy. High vibe energy wants to spread. Low vibration energy wants to spread. And if you'll just repeat it, even if you don't believe it, say, even if you don't believe it, but just to take the point, to get it, say energy has its own independent intelligence. Okay, I know the science folks in here are real mad that they had to say that, okay? But if you believe, and Sam Transcend, I'll be curious, do you believe that there's a separate energy that has its own intelligence?
I believe this energy that has all the intelligence of the universe resides within us and is part of us.
What do you say for a homeless person who is going, fuck you, shit, fuck? What are they tuned into?
Well, they tune into low vibrational states.
Low vibration states.
Yeah.
Do you believe that energy exists independently and affects them, or do you believe that they're just angry?
No, we transmute energy, so energy is not good or bad. They're just choosing to use it for bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. But let me expand on what I think. I think that when people commit evil, they should be punished for committing evil, sure. So I'm not saying otherwise. That's just society, guys. But I believe that evil, the people who commit evil, are victims of the same evil they are perpetrating. Okay? They are victims of the same evil they are perpetrating. This is why, as a Christian, you might say a person that killed someone goes to jail, but you try not to hate them because you do not want to feed that energy. Okay? So if you're already being influenced by who's around you and becoming like them, also be aware that you're tuning into different channels. And over time, I believe that you're threading your core essence either into your ego, into social conditioning, into your addictions in the world, or you're threading your core existence. Say this after me: the witnessing consciousness, and the infinite process of life. Okay, so if who you are is the witness and the infinite process of life, not the outcome, but the process, then what happens is over time, your core essence is threading into that, in my view. And so what happens is that because there's a vacuum, that will funnel in present energy. And as a result of funneling in present energy, what winds up happening is that actually begins to run you. And in my experience, what you will have happen is all that you will care about at your core is awakening. You will care about your own awakening, and you will want to share awakening. and it will drive you, and it will consume you, and you'll see your brothers and your sisters unconscious, and you will literally be driven to just go around the world trying to wake people up, deking them out, tricking them, doing whatever it takes to wake them up, showing them riches or sex to get them to engage in process orientation, because in that process orientation, they will wake up. Okay? And so the idea of having a spirituality, from my point of view, means that it's incumbent upon you to both attune yourself to the energy of life, that energy that is expansive, light, creative, flowing, abundant, and then to begin to overwhelm the energy of death, which is outcome dependent, dense, hardened, scarcity based, fear based, and separation based. And what will begin to happen is that as you thread into that flow, energetic blocks will decrease. We learned about things like the Tao Te Ching. And the Tao Te Ching, it talks about how there's the energy of the Tao, and it has an expansion, but what else does the Tao have? A return. Say the word, an energy of return. So what happens is, when everything's expanding and going awesome, do we like that? Yeah. But what about when it's returning? Do we like that, or do we resist it? Okay, the energy of returning to source. But the idea of non-resistance is that we do not resist that return, we surf it. And so it allows us to stay present. And it allows us to connect to the natural rhythms of life, which means that we are adding to life. It also means that we do not fear what? Death. Say it louder. Death. What do we not fear? Death. What do you not fear? Death. Okay, because we understand that that's the return, okay? So if we just try to extend it forever, now what do we see happening in the Ray Kurzweil circles? And those people have come to me before, by the way, I know a lot about it. In the Ray Kurzweil circles, or in some of the tech circles, what are they trying to do? They're trying to live forever. How are they doing it? AI, transhumanism, chips. And what's funny is, people that are connected to spirituality, you know what they're going to be called soon? A death cult. But in reality, from my point of view, we're not meant to just stay here. There's an intelligence to life. Repeat that after me. There's an intelligence to life. Say it louder for me. There's an intelligence to life. Good, there's intelligence to life, right? And if you watch, your life will unfold with perfection, with the exact lessons that you need, without psychedelics. Without it. Because life is what? Life is what? It is the psychedelic. But nobody knows that. You're on ayahuasca right here, right now. I am the ayahuasca. Okay? So, yeah, I am the DMT. Okay? People say, have you taken DMT? I am the DMT. Okay, it's a joke, okay? But life is the DMT trip. Now, if we hide from the DMT trip and we resist the natural DMT trip, then what winds up happening is we don't get the lessons. We fight against lessons. Look, you ever had it to where you're ascending, you got a girlfriend that won't ascend with you, and then you keep trying to bring her and she won't come. And then if you fight it and you try to resist that natural breakup, then she gets mad, she becomes demonic, et cetera, et cetera. If you just let her go and accept it, she'll become your friend again, right? If there's a movement in life, like a major upheaval in your life, if you resist it, you'll lose sleep, you'll get stressed, you'll get tired. If you just accept it, that this is the quantum leap that you're jumping into of the new reality tunnel, then you will surf the reality tunnel through the stress. Just like a psychedelic trip, I don't do psychedelics, ever, but it's like a psychedelic trip where if you resist, it freaks you out, and if you go with it, you grow. You will grow from life. Life will provide to you the alchemy. Say the word life. Life will provide me the alchemy. But you've got to learn how to get attuned to that alchemy. And you've got to attune yourself to the energy of life, and you've got to get around people that also will help to facilitate your growth. Okay? So what I'd recommend is for the spiritual crowd here that y'all are kind of a bunch of wussies sometimes, okay? Now, if you got a up-and-coming YouTube channel at 23, that's another story. That takes work. But for most, it's a fucking excuse. And how many of my students will come to me after I suggest a spiritual book, and they say, well, I read this and I just want to be at peace. They're fucking broke. they're not gonna ever have kids because they can't even pay for fucking kids. They can't pay for themselves. It's a sophisticated excuse, and that is not of God. They're not playing with life, and they are hiding from the alchemy of life. Say the word hiding. Hiding. From the alchemy, of life. You will feel drawn down certain paths that will involve work, that will involve creation. We create to mirror what? Who are we mirroring? God. Mirroring our creator, right? Our God is a creator God, we mirror creation. So what happens is that as we mirror that, we are called upon to create, and we are called upon to help bring apart consciousness. And you can either ride with that or ride against it. That's your choice. But the consequences will happen, in my view, when you're dead. And life will pass by like this. Look, I'm turning 46 this week. Do you guys understand how fast this passed by? Yes. I feel like I'm still 22 running my first seminar. It feels like a week. What do you think it feels like? This is my first seminar in a Starbucks in New York City when I was 22. How long do you think it felt? It's a week. I'm not feeling any different. It's just me, guys. Same old Owen running the Starbucks seminar, weirding out the people listening. Same me, guys. I've evolved, I've grown, I've had experiences. Still me. And it feels like a week. If I were to live to be 100, it might feel like 3 weeks, and it'll be gone. This experience will come and it will go. So the question is, what are you going to do with it, and what's preparing you? And so there's a certain alchemy and a light that switches on. But what I'd say to you is that you've got to fight for that light to get switched on. And by fighting, that could mean non-resistance, by the way. But you've got to engage in processes that turn it on, okay? You've got to play with life, and you've got to engage with life. And what that means that every single one of you in here has a purpose to life. Say that word, purpose to life. Purpose to life. Okay, every one of you in here has a purpose. And there's something that you're here to do. And so many of you hide from that purpose with marijuana, with alcohol, with doom scrolling, with apathy, with laziness, and with spirituality. You can hide from your purpose with spirituality and not walk the journey that you're meant to walk. So I want you guys to acknowledge that, okay? And the way that you can feel your purpose, here's what happens, okay? Let me show you how. You want to know how to feel it? Yeah. Okay. You guys want me to teach you?
Yes.
Okay. Why do I have, I'm deep in the seminar, why do I have unlimited energy? Why? Because I'm on my purpose. I hate that this is my purpose. I resent it. I've been through so much shit for this bullshit. Okay? It sucks. There's been so much bullshit thrown at me to do this fucking thing. No amount of money that I would make from this would be worth the bullshit that I got. But what, I promise you, if I were to tell you guys what I've been through with this, I just don't talk about it because it'd be encouraging it. More of the problems I've had. I never wanted any of this. But what would happen to me energetically if I stop? I'd just be another dumbass derper on the street complaining about a flat tire. Okay? I wouldn't be tapping into what I'm tapping into. So, a public speakers always seem to be on their purpose, right? Because they kind of broadcast their purpose. A guy who maybe is going to be on their purpose with something not as public will not be as obvious. So when I say find your purpose, it doesn't mean that every single person has to be a self-help guru. For some of you, it actually could be, by the way. Anybody in here trying to do that? Put your hand up if that's you. Well, there you go. For some of you, that might be what you want to do. And you could be my next guy who came to my seminars that
actually, I do that
makes me look like a badass.
Because I'm Greek, I do that on Greek, so I'm the...
Here, stand up, give your Instagram.
Version of yours.
Here, stand up. Yeah, what's your name?
My name is Michalis.
Okay, let me teach you something. Okay. You ain't gonna get no Instagram followers to go, my name is okay? What's your actual name?
Michalis.
All right, we'll work on this, brother. Have a seat. Okay, so look. Okay, no, I'm done. No. Okay, so look. Okay, no, but bro, one thing you learn from this shit is no one gives a fuck, dude. They don't got time to go, my name is, okay? Just fucking spell it out to them. Their attention span is fucking limited. There's a limited attention span, okay? So you go, my name is, and it's spelled okay? You just give it to them, and then you get it, okay? That's how you work in life, okay? So look, anyway, what I'm getting at is this, okay? So basically, for some of you guys, that's your fucking thing, right? But maybe it's something less public. Here's how you'll know. Find something that is so profound to you it makes you cry. Find something you die for. Find something that you can funnel God's will and fuse it with your unique twist into what it is that you're doing. And then get out of your own way and just let it rip, baby. Let it fucking rip. And a lot of that could be accounting, guys, knowing numbers. How much numbers do I have to, how much do I have to study numbers to be able to run a free event? Numbers. Running a free event is just a big math problem, guys. You get it? Running a free event is a math problem. Okay? Do I like math? No! My least favorite skill and thing to study in school is math. I fucking hate math class. Okay? I like English literature, I like history, classical literature, maybe a little geography, a little history, a little philosophy. Fuck math. Fucking trinomial factoring, carry the fucking fraction. If it's real important, ask me. Yell it.
It's about purpose. So basically my question is, do you think your purpose is something you can work towards, or is something you just start?
Let me get there. So the point being is sometimes you've got to do some fucking math. Guys, how good of a seminar did I do about marketing last night for people that were at it?
Awesome.
Okay. Would you guys speculate that that may have been the best marketing seminar ever delivered in history?
Yeah.
I think it might have been. I fucking can't stand learning marketing. Okay? I can't stand accounting. Dude, I don't want to market. I just want to do free shit. The free tour, the free video. I don't want to market. I want to wake everybody up for free. But what I learned was, I can't manifest a fucking seminar room for free. Maybe there's some way, right? But you know my point, okay? You don't get to nitpick me. There's always a way, I guess. So I learned that if I want to help wake people up, math! And to accomplish math, I need funds. And to get funds, I need to start fucking marketing from these cheesy ass, tacky internet marketing gurus. Okay? But when I sat there last night sharing marketing, was I mad about it or was I passionate about it? Passionate. Because it feeds my purpose. So, you can be spiritual, but maybe you want to learn fucking jujitsu so someone can't beat your ass. And that doesn't make you not spiritual. It means that someone can't beat your ass and fuck you up and make it where you can't share. So you got to embrace the ancillary skill sets. Get around other people that can help you. Many of the people that helped me to spread my message were total weirdo, fucking whack-ass value taker types, right? So repeat this after me. First enlightenment. Then the laundry. Before enlightenment. Shop wood. After enlightenment. Shop fucking more wood. Right? They call it first enlightenment, then the laundry, guys. That's what they call it, right? You still got to do the fucking laundry. Okay? So you might as well learn how to do it efficiently, if that makes any sense. You see what I'm saying with this, guys? And so, as you're finding your purpose, you got to go within yourself, and you got to feel what is very, very deeply resonant to you. Okay? You got to feel that which is resonant. Feel what brings stillness. And go in your mind very, very, very present and see what will begin to move your mind. Begin to move your mind. Still your mind. Go to nature to do it. Do it in your fucking bedroom after you rub one out. Okay? I say that sarcastically just to make the point that it's practical. Okay? Come on in, boys. So still your mind. And what's going to wind up happening as you still your mind is you're going to feel It's not a voice like a schizophrenic. If you're hearing a schizophrenic voice, go get checked out for mental illness. Okay? But what you'll find instead is your mind will still, and you'll see where your mind takes you. Okay? Your mind will go still, and you'll see where your mind takes you. And it will take you places. And you'll get a sense of what you're supposed to do. But you've got to get out of the ego. You've got to at least get an ego to an extent. You've got to get out of addictions. You've got to get out of autopilot thinking. And you've got to get back to base level consciousness, okay? And it will begin to come to you. But if you think that you only have to do the fun part and not some of the harder parts for that, that is the goddamn devil. Okay? That is the fucking devil. If you're like, oh, like Sam Transcend, you didn't learn sales copy, bro. You gotta learn how to write nasty sales copy. Say the word nasty sales copy.
Nasty sales copy.
Yeah, but say it like nasty sales copy.
Nasty sales copy.
Okay, you gotta be nasty with that shit. You had a business, you gotta be nasty on the fucking sales copy. Right? You gotta be nasty on your product development. You gotta be nasty on your logistics. You gotta be nasty on your accounting. You gotta be nasty on your fucking math. But we don't call that spiritual. Oh, it's not spiritual to be good at math. Fuck those people. Say, fuck those people.
Fuck those people.
Okay, because they're literally, they're getting you used to losing, is what it is. That's how you don't do math, you lose. Say that. You don't do math, you lose. Straight up, you lose. You don't learn marketing, you fucking lose. You don't learn how to public speak, you fucking lose. Just straight up, it's just the truth, guys. It's just the fucking truth. Okay? It's just the fucking truth. You want to spread light? Math. You want to spread light? Market. You want to spend light? Spread light, spend light. You want to spread light?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes it costs a little money to spread light, guys. It does. Me sitting at home is not as good as me being out here. So I almost fell for that fucking fraud. Okay, I read my little Eckhart Tolle, I go, oh, it doesn't matter. And then I go, snap me out of it. Wake me the fuck up. I need other influences. People will say it's an accomplishment to go meditate for 10 days. For some of us, that ain't an accomplishment, guys. That's called a comfort zone. Okay? That's called a comfort zone. Just be present and let go and don't care about money. Oh, let's work for 10 years not to care about money. For some of us, that's a comfort zone. Okay? That's a comfort zone to not care about money. That's a comfort zone to just read more spiritual texts. It's not a journey of transcending attachment. For some of us, we've already transcended attachment. So the comfort zone is just getting stuck there. Letting go of attachment for many of us is a comfort zone. Being spiritual is a comfort zone. So if you're somebody who self-identifies as too much in your ego, too attached, and too greedy, watch Sam Transcend. But if you're somebody whose name's Sam Transcend, watch Alex Hormozi. Does Sam Transcend need to read Eckhart Tolle Part 90? No. But what would happen if he read Alex Hormozi? This little light would go. Weapons of awakening. Math. Okay? And that's what the church needs to get to. The church needs to stop fucking losing and get serious. Get serious about winning. Who here actively goes to church most Sundays? Look how low those numbers are. What is the real church in America right now? TikToks and fucking weed is the church. So you can hide from that. You can say, oh no, don't say that. That's mean, don't say that. Sometimes the church is TikTok and weed for this reason, because most people are on TikTok and weed. That's their version of spiritual enlightenment these days. That's what they do in their spare time.
Yeah, but religion and spirituality, they are two different things. I mean, religion,
Sure.
you know, and
Yeah,
spirituality-
and she says religion and spirituality are two different things. And here's what I say to that. Then why don't we address that? And so why is there something new to build upon that? Okay? And what's going to happen if we don't build something like that again? If there's not something, a stabilizing force society like that again, what's going to happen? More of the same. And what will happen is our freedom that makes us so successful will become top heavy, and everyone will become like the movie fucking Wall-E. And if you think that fucking potato chips and McDonald's and beer and weed is bad, wait until you encounter something called the metaverse. Okay? And when you can go skiing without the risk of breaking your leg. Right? And then there's no need to go anywhere. And then there's no need to even leave your fucking house. And you go, no, I wouldn't just go in the metaverse. Yeah, but to go visit another city has cost a lot of money. And you risk death. Why would you do that when you can just be in the metaverse? Quick question, yep.
I did an ayahuasca trip in my Oculus in a VR. I haven't
Yeah.
done it in VR.
So you did a psychedelic trip in a VR.
I didn't get the DMT story thing, but I was like
Yeah.
very realistic.
That's wild. That's probably hell of a VR. Well, I guess what I'm saying is this, guys. I'd actually prefer that over someone doing that. But the point is this. What I'd say is that's where this is going, okay? So if you can get everything you need out of VR, are you engaging with the alchemy of life? Are you engaging with the transmutation of your soul? So you're not engaging, which means you're stuck here. Your soul is just stuck here. It's tethered here. So what I'd say to you is don't worry so much even just about money or whatever, but what you should worry about, not worry about, but focus on is finding out what's your deepest truth, getting your deepest truth, cultivating that in all the spare time that you have, all of it, all of your spare time, cultivate it. You know, do a couple of leisure things too. You don't got to be like a total psycho, but be almost total psycho. And then what you should do is learn, repeat this after me, the ancillary skills. So the ancillary skills are you, in effect, learning the skills that will bring your vision to life. Say with me, the skills that will bring your vision to life. Okay? So I don't get to always be in the forest, guys, okay? I don't get to always be just doing seminars. I've got to also learn the ancillary skills, and I got to be pragmatic, and I got to look at stuff I don't want to look at to bring my vision to life. Here are some skills that every single person needs. 1, public speaking. Say that.
Public speaking.
Say public speaking.
Public speaking.
Why do we need public speaking to bring our vision to life, guys? Any guesses?
To communicate to people.
To share the vision, to communicate it, maybe to have influence in your project, your endeavor. You know what I'm saying, boys? Okay, so for your endeavor, right? The other one is leadership. So I made a little joke there. I pretend like I'm gonna throw a little water on our boys here, right? Would I do it? Would I throw water on you? Would I do it? I would, but I'm not gonna do it, okay? But if I don't pretend I'm gonna throw water on them, what happens? Huh? I actually will the second time because you talked again, okay? Third time for sure, the whole thing. And I'll do it. You can do whatever you want. I ain't tripping on it. So why is it important that I pretend I'm gonna throw a little water on him if he talks? Do I actually care that much if they want to have a little conversation? Do I really care? No one can ever talk when I'm talking. No, is that why? They talk a little bit. What happens next? They talk. They talk. They talk. Look, it's like you guys come and ask me for a photo at the seminar, right? And I say no. Why do I have to say no? If I take one photo right now, what happens to this seminar? Do we get to the seminar? Or is it a photo op? Like Santa, come sit on Santa's lap. Right? If one or two people talk, then everybody starts talking. It gets out of control, right? It's called crowd control. Sam Transcend. Part of your vision will be crowd control. It's an ancillary skill because when you do a seminar someday, these motherfuckers are gonna start fucking piping off. They start chirping. Okay? And Sam Transcend, I'm like, yo, stop the chirping, bitch. I'm Sam Transcend. You fucking stop chirping, motherfucker. Okay? And you're gonna have to do that. And that's just called leadership. If you don't have that skill, you can't share at your seminar. Look, he could have some other thing. Maybe he has a bell like that. He goes boing, boing. Right? Maybe he's got security. I don't know. But he has to have that leadership. Okay? There's no choice. What happens as soon as when I'm walking back and forth like this, what is the reason that I'm walking back and forth and looking at everybody? Yes, to connect with you, but what else am I doing? What is this? What am I doing? It's crowd control. If I don't put tension on you, I've got to come up and look at you because then you're scared that if you look away and look at your phone, I'm going to catch you. And you gotta be I have to have a little bit of tension that you're gonna worry that I'm gonna call on you or I'm gonna ask you a question. So I gotta put a little bit of tension on you. Because I do that, how many hours can I keep you in here? All day, right? That's called leadership. Sam Trent said, you may have a vision, but that vision has to be shared without a lot of motherfucking tripping on your shit. Okay? Now, someone brings in some fucking Chipotle in here. What happens next, too? The smell of the Chipotle, and everyone starts looking around, and they want to go get Chipotle, right? So that fucks you up. So you have to also stop people from coming in. These are skills that are not what I don't dream of learning this shit. It's kind of stupid. But the point is that without those ancillary skills, I can't bring light. I'm limited in how much light that I can bring. So without public speaking knowledge, I can't bring light. But that's why I say that the church and many spiritual institutions get used to losing, because they're just optimized for one thing in some cases, not all cases, but in some cases they're over-optimized without the other optimizations, and they're not bringing light. If you're serious about bringing light, they get serious about learning the ancillary skills. They're the weapons of war in the spiritual battle. Marketing, public speaking, social skills, networking, social media creation, mastery of the algorithm are all weapons of the spiritual war. All of them. So Sam Trent said, you want to share light? Study clickbait. Study thumbnails. Make a dumb face with an idiotic title like, oh, like that. Sam Transcend has a pain body attack. Oh, but really he didn't. Let me see it. Click. And then he wakes you up. Okay, gotcha. I didn't really freak out. I'm Sam Transcend. I don't freak out. Gotcha, but you clicked. Now wake up. Okay? So we have many skills. So we learn, again, public speaking. We learn social skills. We learn how to meet people. Like, bro, you're a pretty enlightened guy. But I mean, at some point, do you want children or no? That means Sam Tran says got to learn how to get some pussy. He does. You know what I'm saying? He got to fuck. Right? Sam Transcend's got to bust a nut. Okay? Have like the Dune baby. You know, the baby come out with like some fucking blue ass eyes and shit, right? And by the way, when I say words like Sam Transcend got to get some pussy, my version of enlightenment is actually joking. I believe humor, because I think a lot of the enlightenment stuff is very like, namaste, like let's take ourselves serious, which is kind of like a hipster being this weird ultra, you know how a hipster claims that they're different, but they're just basically playing a role? That's my thing that I'm not a fan of, where the hipster's playing a role, but they're not actually, they're framing like they're rejecting the mainstream, but they're just embracing a sub-herd. They're just embracing an ancillary tribe. They're still in the herd. There's just a little herd over here that's comfortable. No, fuck even that herd. No roof overhead, no floor underfoot. Okay, so when we say Sam Transcend gotta get some what? What do we gotta get Sam Transcend? He doesn't see that? You know why he doesn't want to say it? I mean, we're all transcended, right? So say the word. Stand up and fucking say it. Sam, stand up and tell him what you want.
Come on. I don't want it.
So you want to have an immaculate conception?
I mean, yeah, I guess I want.
Do you want a son, a daughter?
A daughter.
Okay, then what do you want? Not with the daughter, but to make the daughter, what do you need?
Pussy, yeah.
Oh, Sam Transcend, how could you say that? Oh my God, are you some evil misogynist man? You like pussy? No, you shouldn't like that. You're bad. You're not spiritual, you're fucking bad. That's not Sam Transcend, Sam Pussy Hound. Pussy Slayer. Sam Pussy Slayer. He just wants to slay pussy. Okay? So, that'd be a great sub-clip when they clip me. Anyway, so look. That's what he teaches. There wasn't anything. Right? So anyway, that's what they do. So I guess what I'm saying here, though, is like, that's pragmatic. Like, you want to have a family? You got to have that skill. Right? So there's skills that we got to learn to share light, right? We got to learn how to have kids someday. Guys, that means you got to learn a little dating. Ooh, it's bad. No, it's not bad to have kids. Okay? We've got to learn marketing. Ooh, it's bad. It's bad. No, Marketing is a tool of light when used properly, okay? We gotta learn about money and accounting. Oh, accounting, money is bad. Money, if you're just here for it, is actually not awesome. But money, when used the right way, is a bringer of life. It's called life energy. It's just, all that money is a containment of value, guys. It's a little pocket of value that you could give to a third world country to help some kids get to school and some fucking water.
Give you a platform to do the thing.
Yeah, it gives you a platform, right? Platform, right? It's getting building a water well for kids in an impoverished country evil? So it's not. Is it about money or is it about your relationship to money? It's about what you're doing with it, right? And by the way, are you allowed to spend a little money on yourself too? Yeah. Sure. Of course, you should be comfortable. You want to be energized, but it should be keeping you flowing, is what I'm getting at. Okay. So, did this give you guys a bit of expansion on the idea of spirituality? Yes. Did it also show you that spirituality as an exclusive focus can be deception? Yes. It is, guys. It's a lie. It's a bad, bad, bad lie. And this is what you'll learn, is that life is lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. Fog of war upon fog of war upon fog of war upon fog of war. House of mirrors upon house of mirrors upon house of mirrors upon house of mirrors. Paradox on top of paradox on top of paradox on top of paradox on top of paradox. And we're all looking for the easy answer, right? But the answer is not found in one simple thing. Every truth is about to have truth in some ways because there's an alternate way of seeing that truth. The map is not the territory, right? These are platitudes, but there's truth in them. So what I recommend is don't be, like, I've read every book on spirituality I can find. I spent 5 years in nature. Like, guys, I'm not fucking around, okay? I spent 5 years in fucking nature. Like, that's on some weird shit, okay? Like, just 5 years, like, okay, Sid was with me for a lot of it. Ibrahim was with me for a lot of it. I mean, we've been out here, boy. You can find me in the national park, okay? And so, okay, we're out here in nature, right? I've lived this, guys. I'm out here in the city. This is like some weird human camp for me. My soul is in nature, guys. Okay, I spent years meditating. I spent years reading spiritual texts. I listened to Tao Te Ching while I lift weights. I like the Wayne Dyer one with the binaural beats. So I live that stuff to the extent that I can in my evolution. But I also understand I'm not enlightened. And to say that you're enlightened is fucking fake ass shit. You're on some fake ass shit. Okay? I'm not enlightened. So what that means if I'm not enlightened is I admit where I'm at in my journey and I allow the process of life to alchemize my ascension, my internal ascension. And maybe I go down sometimes. Maybe I act very unenlightened. Maybe I act like a fucking petty, angry, sad, little pain body moron. And I don't pretend that I'm better than that. And I acknowledge that I'm there. And then what I do is I say, okay, that's where I am. Man, this is out of character for me. I don't like this. This is not who I want to be. Then I come out of resistance from that next test that often just gets harder and harder, it freaking seems. You guys relate to that? Isn't it amazing how life just gives you these harder and harder tests that 5 years ago would have destroyed you? Oh, it's not a coincidence that the test is with perfect timing. So life is the psychedelic, right? And so you get that, and then you admit that you're not enlightened yet, but you say, I'm getting there, I'm ascending, and then you learn from it, and then you keep growing. So you allow life to provide the alchemy. And so we stick it in non-identity. If you're a business person, you can learn about spirituality. If you're a spiritual person, you can learn about some pussy, okay? You can learn business, and you can become more well-rounded instead of a caricature like a hipster. Actual spirituality means you can clown, you can joke, you have no defined identity because you're the witnessing consciousness. So you move with flow. The joke that makes sense at the time, you just let it out. You allow life to move through you. Say the word, allow life to move through you.
Allow life to move through you.
And what I'd ultimately say is, again, we learn a broad range of skills to contribute to human awakening. Now, I want to do a bunch of exercise on this, but you guys enjoy the talk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's it.